When you bowl, one thing leads to another. You throw the ball, it knocks down the pins are reset, the ball comes back to you, and you're ready for another turn. When one thing leads to another, it's called a chain reaction. And here on the lanes, it all starts with the bowling ball. This chain reaction begins and ends with a bowling ball. But a chain reaction can start with anything. And in this book, it all starts with one little cookie. It's called If You Give a Mouse a Cookie.
If you give a mouse a cookie. By Laura Joffe Numeroff. Illustrated by Felicia Bond. Read by Beth Howland. If you give a mouse a cookie, he's gonna ask for a glass of milk. When you give him the milk, he'll probably ask you for a straw. When he's finished, he'll ask for a napkin. Then he'll want to look in a mirror to make sure he doesn't have a milk mustache. When he looks in the mirror, he might notice his hair needs a trim. So he'll probably ask for a pair of nail scissors. When he's finished giving himself a trim, he'll want a broom to sweep up. He'll start sweeping. He might get carried away and sweep every room in the house. He may even end up washing the floors as well. When he's done, he'll probably want to take a nap. You'll have to fix up a little box for him with a blanket and a pillow. He'll crawl in, make himself comfortable, and fluff the pillow a few times. He'll probably ask you to read him a story. So you'll read to him from one of your books. And he'll ask to see the pictures. When he looks at the pictures, he'll get so excited he'll want to draw one of his own. He'll ask for paper and crayons. He'll draw a picture. When the picture is finished, he'll want to sign his name with a pen. Then he'll want to hang his picture on your refrigerator. Which means he'll need Scotch tape. He'll hang up his drawing and stand back to look at it. Looking at the refrigerator will remind him that he's thirsty. So he'll ask for a glass of milk. And chances are, if he asks for a glass of milk, he's going to want a cookie to go with it.
Oh,
So we all know what happens when you give a mouse a cookie. But let's see what happens when you give LeVar another truck. I didn't want to do that. Sometimes it seems like the ball has a mind of its own. Once you let it go, you never know what's gonna happen. But one thing's for sure, bowling balls are made to take a pounding. And here's how they're made. This is the Ebonite Bowling Ball Factory in Hopkinsville, Kentucky. More balls are made here than anywhere else in the world. A bowling ball has two parts, a tough outer shell and a heavy center or core. The core gives the ball its weight. The core is made first. Workers clip plastic molds together and send them one by one down the line. A gooey plastic cement pours into each of the molds. Fill her up. Once the molds are dry, they're cracked open like giant eggs, and the cores pop right out. The cores are round, except for an extra knob on the end. The denobber machine solves that problem. Now the cores take a trip through the factory. Looks like a giant pinball machine, doesn't it? Then the cores are weighed on a digital scale and sorted into bins. The next step is to make the outer shells. Each core is put into the center of a larger mold. A liquid plastic called polyester is added to the mold. It's the same polyester clothing is made from, only in a different form. Polyester comes in lots of bright colors, so bowling balls can be stylish. After the plastic hardens, each ball goes to the grinder. This machine smooths the surface and gives the ball a bath. Every ball is rubbed and buffed to a perfect shine. Time to test for bumps or cracks. Bowling balls have to be perfectly round to glide down the lane for a strike. A special machine stamps each ball with the company name. When you add a dash of color, it really stands out. These balls are sanded down for a rough surface. That's for bowlers who like a ball that really curves. Other balls are left slick and shiny, so they'll roll straight down the lane. But not until a last spray of polish for the perfect shine. At last, the balls are ready to roll.